So today we're going to be talking about utilizing social platforms. I do want to let y'all know if you haven't seen it in your email that I sent out this PDF utilizing social platforms. I pretty much just highlight a few things that we talk about, as well as include some article links if y'all are interested in learning a bit more. NARS actually has a few social media articles that I would highly recommend looking into if you want to know more about social media in relationship with real estate. They have a lot of great small short read tips for y'all. So I definitely recommend going to NARS. Um, and then Hootsuite as well has really great articles as well. So I included some there for y'all to look through. The NARS link is in general their social media articles. So let me open this. Cool. So utilizing social platforms. And then I do want to say that if y'all have a question or anything, as always, you can just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask it. I'm using double screen, so I might not see your hand raised or might not see a chat. So just go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask. So, so today we're going to be talking about utilizing social platforms, and I'm pretty much going to go over not only tips and best practices and things that seem you know, things that seem man, what is that word? I don't know. That seem, I guess, like obvious, but it's a lot of it's easy to forget because you when you post on social media you get in the headspace of, this is, I'm going to be posting for myself, and you kind of think that everything's set to private, but little do you know that a lot of other people can also see that, and it's like a domino effect. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more, and it'll make a little bit more sense as we go, but I'll also be breaking down different social media platforms and what they're best for. So we're going to go through quite a few of them because I'm sure some of you only use Instagram or only use Facebook and Instagram, but you really could be using Pinterest or Nextdoor or LinkedIn or, and I'll name a few. And so we'll go over which each one is going to be best for. So so the reason why, if you haven't been here already, the reason why I name my presentation "The Beauty and the Beast of Marketing" is because there's a lot of negative ideas and perspectives on marketing, any type of marketing, and there's also a lot of great gain from marketing as well. And so at the beginning of every presentation, I go over the negative feelings and what you may be feeling about marketing, and that's why you haven't used it or done anything with marketing. And then we'll talk about the benefits of that specific topic. So for the beast of utilizing social platforms, some people may not want to post on social media because it can be too confusing to use, especially with the way that social platforms are advancing so quickly. I mean, I swear I just went on Facebook and everything looks different. So it can be kind of hard to keep up with, especially if we're not using it too often, and everything's changing so often. So it could be too confusing to use, too much time to commit to posting, creating ideas. I get that. I understand that. It does, take some out of the box thinking, especially if you're trying to do something very revolutionary, something different than your competitors. And so when I generate social media for y'all, what I typically try and keep it relevant to like everything that's happening now and what's going to get the highest engagement. Creating ideas doesn't necessarily mean spending a lot of time creating those ideas and creating good ideas. You just have to know your audience. You have to know who's following you. And we'll jump into that a little bit more, especially if y'all are going to join me with in my meta class. I'm really going to deep dive into meta a few presentations later, and we're going to talk about analytics. And in your analytics, you'll be able to see, are women following you? Are men following you? What are their ages? And once we review that based off of your specific meta page, then we'll be able to generate marketing strategies for you based off of that. So it'll help with the creating ideas a little bit more. Um, Another beast aspect is worry of past clients or people bashing you. Maybe you feel very passionate about something, right? Like the whole news, everything that's coming out right now, about everything that they decided regarding like real estate. Maybe you want to post something on it, but you're scared that you're gonna get like negative reviews, negative comments. It's gonna hurt your name, and so you don't want to post anything on it. So that could be a worry. Or I know a lot of people are scared of their past clients. Maybe the client had a bad experience, and so they're going to comment on your social media and pretty much leave terrible reviews, and just troll you. Um, Another thing is not creative enough or posting boring content. I think we all are fearful of that, of posting boring content, or it not being creative enough, not being engaging enough. So over the course of these marketing classes, eventually I'll get to where we're going to be. Eventually, I want to dive into after I've taught y'all everything, we're gonna do a I guess like a check-in. So we're gonna have some type of like maybe not like a competition, but we'll start at first. I'll help y'all build out your strategies and we'll walk it through, every week. We'll sit down as a group and we'll look over your social media. We'll pick out your goals and we'll walk through it and I'll help you generate new content and we'll all talk about it as a group. What content is relevant right now? What would y'all want to post? What do you when it basically would become a group discussion. So we'll get there eventually after I teach everybody how to do all the basics, right? So another beast is too much competition. I know that there's a lot of agents that also feel that there's too many realtors, too many agents online, and they pretty much fill up the space. Oh, there's so many really well-known agents, and they all have, like 10 million likes and followers, and I can't compete with that. I only have like five followers. You could become the 10 million follower person too. It just takes consistency and it takes commitment. Because even though those people, when they were posting at first, weren't getting high engagement, they weren't getting likes, shares, or anything, it just takes one video to go viral, and then you get tons of followers. And then it takes consistency. Naturally, people don't want to follow and like something that isn't liked and followed by other people. And so typically, if you see a big if you're looking at someone's Instagram and you see a big list of videos, then, people are more likely to follow you, or people see a video where it had a lot of engagement, then they're going to want to like it too. So those are things that can adjust. It might be fears of yours, but those are things that can change over time. The beauty of social platforms. So these are some statistics that I have over to the right. So 38% of new real estate clients came from social media. 96% of home buyers search for their dream home online, which I think a lot of us know that. 46% of realtors agreed social media was the best tool for generating quality leads. So social media is a very powerful tool. And if you're not utilizing it, especially because it's free, all it costs is your time, you really need to think about it a little bit more, at least post a few times. I tell people you don't have to post, once every day. You don't have to post 10 times a day. There are people out there who do that as a full-time job, but we're not here to do it as a full-time job, right? We're here to just generate leads. And so you don't have to be doing posting that often, but if you know that you can only post twice a week, because that's just what your time gives you, then only post twice a week. My thing is you need to stay consistent. That's really what matters here is the consistency. Um, so a few other things about the beauty of social media or social platforms is it can generate quality leads. It acts as a resume. It displays your knowledge on a topic. It can drive traffic to your website, interact directly with clients, build loyalty and trust, keep an eye on competitors, and keeps you top of mind for clients. The top of mind for clients is like something that I want to highlight. I think we all, when you're posting the same thing over and over, you're like, hey, I'm a realtor. Hey, I'm a realtor. Hey, I'm a realtor. It can kind of seem like, okay, like everyone knows I'm a realtor. I don't really want to tell people anymore because they should know. But I think people forget that other people have lives. People, go about doing their own thing. They have their own jobs. They have their own family. They forget that you're a realtor. You can say it as many times as you want, unless you've been an agent or a realtor for a very long time, and it is something that a lot of people know. That's a little different. But if you've been doing this maybe for like 4 to 5 years still and not over that, people probably forget that you're a realtor. Um, and so when you're constantly posting, and it can be different, like realtor related content, it doesn't have to be, hey, I'm a realtor. It can be, hey, I closed. Hey, congratulations to this family for finding their new dream home, or this is my open house, or so when you do that, me as a potential client, I could be scrolling, and again, it depends on the algorithm. I might not see your 20 posts that say that you're a realtor because of my algorithm. My algorithm is going to show me other people's stuff. So maybe, just maybe, I might see one of your posts that say you're a realtor. And I'm like, hey, I totally forgot they're a realtor. And I'm actually looking for a home. Let me reach out to them. Or they see that and they're off doing their own thing, and a friend or family member says, oh, I need a realtor, and I don't have anybody. Do you know anybody, or what did you do to buy your home? What was your process? And then they might recommend you. They might say, well, actually, I saw my friend so and so post it today, and they said that they're a realtor, and I see them also posting all the time saying, showing that they're doing all these closings, they're always doing open houses. I mean, they must be good, even though you may not be good at it. You may have no idea what you're doing, but it's the consistency that makes people think that you're strong, and you're confident, and you're trusting at what you do because you're doing it all the time. So you must be good at it, right? Even though that may not be true, but it's all psychological. Um, and you have to also remember that we want people to go back to your website, want people to go back to and use your like V card, because when people do that, then you can generate more leads. And so that's also something that is very important, especially here at Realty Texas, because everything is connected here. And so it's very important for you to be utilizing every little thing that we give you here, because every little thing goes back to your website. And for those of you that don't know, when people land on your website, let's say you share an address with them, and and it's using your URL. So it's like your first name dash last name dot realtytexas.com slash and then the address, right? So you send it to them, you're like, hey, what did you think about this? Or hey, I think this home would be really great for you. And they're like, no, not really. I don't think so. But let me go explore their buy page and see what else is for sale. And so they go to the buy page and they click on something else. They're like, yeah, I like this a lot more. Let me see if I can book a tour. Little do they know, this entire time, they're still on your specific URL. So even though they're exploring the rest of the website, they are still going to become your lead because they used your specific URL. And so that's very important, because even when you blog, and they clicks off, they're still on your URL. And so that's something very important that y'all need to really remember as you're creating this content. Especially across all different types of platforms. Always use your website, always post your V card, always try and lead people back to the website. Try and lead people back to your open houses and to your listings. Okay, cool. So some different social platforms that we'll be talking about today, briefly, is Facebook. And for those of you that hate Facebook, that say, I don't ever post on Facebook, I'm an Instagram person. I mean, I have a Facebook, or I have a Facebook, but I don't really use it. You need to know that there's 3.9 billion people using Facebook. You are missing out on so many potential leads. And I'm telling you right now, and I'll mention this again later, I am part of Facebook groups, different Facebook groups, like local areas in San Antonio and Austin and Houston. And there's so many people all the time saying that they need a realtor. And again, I know some of you have already told me that, yeah, but then I have to compete against like 50 other people. 50 other people jump on that Facebook, group and they're like, I'm a realtor, I'm a realtor, I'm a realtor. So what's even the point? Well, the point is that even after those people talk, even after those people see all those other realtors, they might be more gravitated to click on you. Who knows? I mean, you might as well try. It's better to try than not try because you never really know. So make sure that you're using Facebook, and you have no excuse now because Facebook and Instagram are connected, using Meta. And again, we'll talk about that in a different presentation, different class, but there's no excuse now because you can connect them. And if you post on Instagram, it'll post on Facebook automatically. No excuse. So for Instagram or Threads, if y'all don't know, Instagram has a new feature called Threads. It acts as Twitter. And so basically it's just like a simple small post and people can like it, people can share it. It's like basically the same thing as Twitter. But Instagram has that now. So definitely go use that as well. Especially if you want to post often, but you don't want to put effort into like the graphic or the design. You just kind of want to like say something or share an article or share your blog. So that I definitely recommend that. And there's like it's a separate like app. So make sure you download the Threads app. So anyway, so Instagram and Threads has over 2.4 billion users. Twitter/X has 335 million. LinkedIn has 1 billion. Pinterest has 498 million. TikTok has 2 billion. YouTube has 2.7 billion. And Nextdoor has 42 to 69 million. And that's kind of like a general, just because there wasn't any specific, or there wasn't any current 2024 stat on that. So I kind of like estimated 2021 to 2023. So yeah. So jumping into it. So when I speak about Facebook and Instagram, I'm talking about your Facebook, Instagram business page. It's very different, very, very, very different from your personal. So if you don't have a Facebook or Instagram business page, definitely create one if you want to participate in my meta class, because you can only do all the things I'm going to mention from your business page. So for Facebook, according to National Association of Realtors in 2022, 89% of real estate agents use Facebook for their business. It's also good to know for your Facebook business page that there is a content planner, a free content planner for you to use. And so what the content planner is if you decide like you have a lot of time on a Sunday or on a Saturday, you could literally plan your content on that day for the rest of the week. And so you're not constantly like, oh, I should post something, on a Tuesday. Oh, I need to post something, but I don't know what to post. I don't have time. I have all these things I need to do, but I really need to post today. That basically, the content planner is what saves you time. Even if you have time in the morning, you're like, man, I really want to post at 1 p.m., but I'm going to be busy. The content planner, you could do it right then and there and plan it to be posted at 1 p.m. You also get access to analytics, which will help you figure out who's following you, who's liking your content, the gender, the age, the location of these people. It also it'll show you your new followers, how many people followed you. It'll show you if you set up goals. It'll show you if you've reached your goal of like reaching organically like 10,000 people, or on Facebook or on Instagram. So there's so many things that you can do with this, and it'll help you build out your marketing strategy. Facebook groups, join local Facebook groups. If you're, in Austin, definitely join Austin. If you're in Austin, but you know other realtors and you want to help your realtors in San Antonio, then definitely join the San Antonio groups and then recommend your friend. Um, but I definitely recommend joining those groups, guys. I mean, there's so many free leads out there that you could be getting. So you could also do Facebook has Marketplace, which I know a lot of you post your leasing properties on there. So that's really great. I know that that generates a lot of leads for that. If you're trying to lease out an apartment. Uh, and then there's also another feature that'll push your content out to non-followers. So over to the right here, this was something that I saw on my feed. I don't follow Full Circle Real Estate Group. This just was suggested for me because, I'm in real estate, right? I'm here. And so I'm always looking at real estate stuff. I'm always posting about it. I'm always, real estate, real estate, real estate. So my Facebook was like, okay, we think that you would like this. So this Facebook page, um, uh, gave me this and says under contract, and it's, something that is kind of meaningless to me because I don't know who this person is. And, okay, this house is cute, offer accepted, cool. But I'm not really interested in that. But, needless to say that if you have your Facebook group or Facebook page, you could be showing up on random people's feed just like this. This could be your face. This could be a house that you just closed on or the offer you accepted. Um, and you could be showing up all across 3.9 billion people's pages. And so it's really important that y'all get your Facebook page put together because, I mean, they do it for free. So, but of course, if you want to put money behind it, there's ads as well. So you can, put money behind your seller's home, or if you want to just generate leads to your website, you could do that as well. And again, I'm going to have a presentation on this separate from the meta presentation. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure you're checking your email because I'm always posting or sending out emails saying what the next presentation is going to be on. Um, oh, and then for the analytics, I just wanted to show an example here that said that one of the posts that I posted on Realty Texas got 158 people organically. So people that don't follow Realty Texas, 158 of them saw that post. And so you're going to see this, but as I go through each platform, I'm going to mention what I think that the social media is best for when it comes to consumer or when it comes to your personal business. So for Facebook, I suggest posting content that is directed towards your consumers, directed towards your clients, your potential clients, and things like that. So for Facebook, I would recommend posting images and videos of community events, closing photos, testimonials, whether that's testimonial from that your client left you on the realtytexas.me on your .me page. Maybe they left a review and you just want to highlight that review. So posting that so that way other people are able to see it. Posting your testimonial of other things and then tagging them will get your content more seen. And then posting infographics and informational. So of course, as y'all know, there's tons of misinformation out there when it comes to real estate in general. And so you always want to be the person that knows the most, especially in the field that you're working in. And so being able to post infographics that say, hey, I know exactly what this topic is talking about, and I'm going to explain it for you simply. But if you want to know more information, contact me. That is the type of infographics and informational that you need to be putting out there. If you need to ask ChatGPT, what are the most common questions people have regarding real estate, you could go online and go to TikTok. TikTok's a good place to go see if anyone's asking any questions or common questions. You can look it up on Google and just simply provide information on those common questions. So you become the person who knows it, right? Who knows the answer to that question. Posting new builds, posting new neighborhoods being built. So maybe someone is really interested as a new homeowner to only, they just want a new house, completely new, or maybe they just want to buy a plot of land. And so you simply taking a picture and saying like, oh, they're building this new location or this new neighborhood. Message me if you want to know more information. People are going to message you about it, especially if they haven't seen that type of content anywhere else and you're posting about it and they're like, okay, you must be in the area, you must know the area because you're posting about the area. And then you're tagging the area, you're including the location, you're putting all the right hashtags. And so that content's going to be seen. And so they're going to want to contact you because that's exactly what they want. So definitely take advantage when you know about the new stuff. People want to see the new stuff. And then new listings, obviously, definitely post your new listings, and try and generate leads that way. Make sure that you're connecting with your clients in the comments. Always like it and always respond. People love to know that they're being noticed. People love to know that you're reading, that you care. So just connect with your clients, connect with people who are following you, and comment back and like it. And then when people come along, they stalk your Instagram page and they look at a post and they see that you're responding back to comments, that you're talking to people, they're going to know, okay, this person's very approachable, they care. And so it just looks good overall. So even though it's a few months down the road, people are still seeing it. Make sure that you're sharing content, whether it's other businesses or news relevant to you. I've seen a few agents here at Realty Texas do this already. So if you've been doing this already, cool, good for you. But definitely share news. Make sure that you're reading the article first, because Facebook is it's very common to see news articles. When you click on it, it has inaccurate information. So don't share anything that you haven't read or that you haven't fact checked. Always make sure that you're reading it before you share it. And then of course, sharing your blogs, again, you want to be the top. When you share your blog, it goes to your website. When you share your blog, it shows that you're more knowledgeable on this specific topic, and it overall just looks really well. And then of course, it diversifies your content that you're posting. So Instagram and Threads. So according to the National Association of Realtors in 2022, 59% of real estate agents use Instagram for their business, which is crazy because we all think that Instagram, everyone's on Instagram, right? We only use Instagram, and yet less people use Instagram than Facebook. So you could definitely take advantage of this, guys. So again, because Instagram's connected to Meta, you're going to have the same access of the content planner, the analytics. And then I would recommend for Instagram, you post for the consumer side, not for the business side. So I would post similar things to Facebook, which is community events, closing photos, testimonials, infographics, new builds, neighborhoods, and listings. The difference between Instagram and Facebook's going to be a little bit more wordy, informational, versus Instagram is a very graphic, I guess, photo related platform. So definitely make sure when you're posting on Instagram that you're using captivating images and relevant images to whatever you're posting about. So for Twitter, kept it pretty short for Twitter. It's 335 million people using it. It's best for both the consumer and business sides. So definitely post. And when I say post to consumer, I'm saying like when you post, think of your ideal client. Think of someone that you already know, a past client, that you're posting this information for them. You want them to be interested in that information. And when I say business side, I want you to post for the for the business side, I want you to post to talk about real estate, to talk about your business. So yeah, so making sure that you're connecting with your clients in the comments, on Twitter. And then you're also sharing other people's information. So for example, if you follow National Association of Realtors, that you're sharing that content because it's relevant to your industry, and it's the business side of it, and it's news relevant to you and to people in this industry. So for LinkedIn, it's best for business side. So your clients, potential clients, are most likely not going to be here. Of course, anyone could be a homeowner. People that own businesses can be homeowners, but people aren't going to become leads through LinkedIn, if that makes sense. So for Instagram, people are more likely to think in their mindset is going to be tailored towards what do I want? What am I interested in versus LinkedIn? Their mindset is business mindset. So what do I want to show people from the business side of it? So for LinkedIn, I would recommend posting content authority related things. So showing that you basically kind of similar to Twitter, where you're posting things like news and things related to the industry. Of course, connecting with real estate industry, so making sure that you're following other people that are in the field, and then trying to get them to follow you back, so you're connected to the real estate industry as a whole. There's hiring opportunities. So I know some of you hire out for to have like an assistant help you. So maybe use this platform to try and get an assistant to be hired on here. You could post polls. I know on LinkedIn, tons of people in the business side of it want to participate in polls and surveys and things like that. They want to know what like-minded people in the industry are talking about. They want to know, they want to be a part of the conversation, basically. And then, of course, LinkedIn is also, I don't have it on here, but is also a great place to network. And then make sure that you're posting personal and business highlighting. And so posting about awards, some success, maybe a success story, maybe, you know, you're on your 8th year of being a realtor and you think back and you're like, you know, my first year of being a realtor, this is where I was and this is where I am now. Posting something about this, about a story like that, and having like a long paragraph about your story, people on LinkedIn want to read that. It's not like Facebook and Instagram where people just want to like quickly swipe, want to like move past it and just like, okay, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. LinkedIn is different in that aspect. People want to read it. People want to know your story. People are interested in getting to know more and learn more. So, and then sharing entrepreneur uplifting stories. So it doesn't have to be just relating to you. It could be relating to something motivational. I always on LinkedIn, that's just like a place where people love in the industry, in any industry, in the business industry, uplifting one another and talking about entrepreneurship, talking about, you know, I saw this video about this speaker and he said something very amazing and I want to share this with y'all. And so sharing those stories and sharing those very motivational quotes or videos or articles, people want to see that on LinkedIn. Talking about company culture. So maybe, you know, there's something going on at Realty Texas that you just want to share with other agents and show this is our company culture here. Definitely, you know, if you're interested, then talk to one of our staff members or call this number. Or if you want to post, I know we're having a baseball event coming up, posting about that because that's relating to company culture. If you want to ask questions, I know a lot of people ask questions and have and again, it's an area where you network with people like-minded. So asking questions and hearing what other people have to say about a very popular topic. So people become a part of the conversation. Of course, this is another great place to share your blog because again, people want to read, people want to know more. So sharing your blog on a topic, people may be interested to read your blog as another agent, as so, as someone in the industry themselves. And of course, you can definitely deep dive into LinkedIn as yourself as a consumer and see what other people are posting. So for Pinterest, I know that I'm, at least as of now, I know that not a lot of people post on Pinterest. But I did want to recommend it because I think that there's something about Pinterest that you could definitely um benefit from. So, of course, posting on Pinterest is best for the consumer. It's best to keep the consumer in mind when you're posting and know that your client is going to love this, or someone, or your new client or past client, whatever, client minded. So posting helpful home tips like infographics and creating a board. Um, and it'll also generate new leads because if other people are looking for helpful home tips and infographics, they're going to see your information attached to it. And they might want to know more about you, which leads them to your website and so on. Posting about decor, interior design tips. And again, you could always share the link to your Pinterest to a client and say, hey, you should go look at my Pinterest because I have tons of like helpful tips. And so that may be an additional like, wow, as a client, I really love that she takes the time or he takes the time to really put all this aside for me. I can go look and find things that are beneficial to me as a new homeowner. That maybe I didn't know, or maybe I know I'm horrible at decorating, but she or he has some really great interior design tips that I'm gonna follow because that's what I like. Um, Making sure that you're posting a board for your local area. So not a lot of people know about Round Rock, right? People, when they think of this area, they think of Austin. When they think of San Antonio, they think of San Antonio, not of Shirts or Selma or the little outskirts, or maybe like Leon Valley or like specific areas in San Antonio, and then same with Houston. And so posting about very specific areas, if someone's looking up Round Rock, and not a lot of people put the word like the city name Round Rock, um, then then you may be one of the first to pop up for the keyword. And so your stuff's going to get seen. And so, of course, and then if people are looking to move into Round Rock, specifically like this example, and they look up Round Rock, they're like, okay, I feel like I know this area a little bit more because I didn't know that that Round Rock is a little bit more green. I'm used to other areas where it's just city. It's just there's no greenery. And so it's good to know that there is going to be a little bit more greenery here, or there's going to be not as many like specific, like maybe like a mall, there's not going to be a mall, or whatever the case is. So it's good to post things like that, and it also shows that you are in that area, that area. um and then yeah, and then posting like restaurants, cool landmarks, things like that, things that not a lot of people see, especially as like tourists or people thinking about moving here, um, moving to wherever your area is. They may not know about these cool little landmarks that you know about. So it'd be really cool for you to post that. Make sure that you're posting your listings because some people do find houses on Pinterest and they're like, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful home. And so having a link there, people could go to your listing. You can also have fun recipes, again, home kind of related, home living related. And then you could share your blogs here as well. Have a cute little photo about a topic, and then include your blogs. And in this case, the blog can be a little bit more lighthearted. Maybe you have like a cute little craft that you did with your kids, and you want to share that for other people to also do. So that could be like a cute little blog you want to share. So for TikTok, it's best for consumer and business side. So on TikTok, you really could be talking to realtors or you could be talking to consumers. It's better if you want to generate leads to talk to the consumer, but of course you can post both if you would like. I can tell you now that I've spoken to some realtors here at Realty Texas, and some of their ideas for videos have been more realtor based. And it may be kind of hard at first to recognize what's consumer and business side. But when you talk about your job, you talk about, you know, you're comparing your job and what you do in your everyday life to maybe something else to make it kind of funny. I can tell you right now, I don't think anyone, any normal client who doesn't know anything about realty is going to be interested in that because they don't know anything about real estate. So it's not relevant to them. They don't understand the content. And so they're just going to scroll on. And so when you think about consumer content, it's best to think about what are people, what are the consumers and what are the clients interested in? What do they want to know? Especially if you have experience with clients and you've already closed it on a few listings, then you have a better idea of what exactly the questions they're asking and what they're looking for. Um, so I would post content relating to a past client in mind because I think that'd be a little easier. And of course, there's if you go to TikTok and you put like real estate TikToks, or you go to Google and you put real estate TikToks, it generates a bunch of TikToks that show that recommend yeah, I don't think this is it, but there was a like another area where it showed different TikToks and like providing different ideas that you could post on TikTok. So just to get you started, if you're interested in that. So posting informational, educational, posting listings, posting local places and events. I know that those typically go pretty viral, the local places and events. Of course, not a lot of people know, like there was one TikTok where in Houston, they have like a SpongeBob restaurant that went viral and it was viral for a while. So posting interesting places like that not a lot of people know about is something that I would do. In Austin, maybe there's a specific area where it's like really cool graffiti. That's not something a lot of people know about. So posting things like that, or in San Antonio, posting the different missions there in San Antonio. Not a lot of people know about all the other missions there. So posting things like that, things that aren't really seen often, but is going to attract people's eyes, going to attract and engage people. Um, and then of course you could be posting relatable content, funny content. So I have some examples of like a funny story time. Maybe you want to put, of course, don't say the client's name or anything like, confidential, but you could still talk about the story. And if you know the client pretty well, you could always ask them for their permission, but keep it pretty general when you talk about the person. So people can't figure out who that person is. But you could talk about something very funny that happened between you and your client, or maybe something horrible that happened, maybe like a really bad experience, or maybe it was a client that you is no longer a client because something happened. So posting things like that will get people to know. They'll watch it because it's at story time. People love story times. People want to know more about you. They're invested in your character and your person. And it'll also help people know how you handle tough situations or how you handle that specific situation. And so it's something a little bit more interesting and it gets people to know a little bit more about you. Um, and so another example is how Texans pronounce cities versus others. Of course, we're in Texas, and I know that concept was viral for a little bit. Because Texans have slang or pronounce things differently. So that would be really cool. Comparing real estate life to something else. Again, this is kind of like in the middle ground, depending on how you go about it. Could be more towards other agents or be towards consumers. It kind of just depends on how interesting it is to a client who knows nothing about what you do. And then of course, using a current trend to talk or show an idea. So current trend could be in a dance. It could be using a specific audio to do something or show something. And so using that audio, because I'm sure all of you don't want to dance on on video. So using audio to show a listing, using audio to talk about something or to try and compare it to something else would be really fun. So for YouTube, it's best for the consumer side when it comes to agents posting. So I would recommend posting tips, posting educational videos, posting market updates, answering real estate questions, a day in the life, or neighborhood/local area videos. So when people, I feel like in the real estate industry, when it comes to clients, they want to know more on YouTube. They're going to YouTube to source information. They're going to any realtor online to figure out, should I buy a house? What are the market updates? What is going on right now in that industry? Is it a good time to buy? And they want to watch a full video about it. And so the cool thing is that with YouTube, you could really spend the time creating the video and sharing that video, sharing small clips of it to Instagram, sharing small clips of it to TikTok. And so you could really take advantage of this time that you've invested in this video and sharing it across all platforms and then constantly sharing it. So maybe you share it for the month of March, and then in May, you want to post it again. And so you can do things like that. So definitely be mindful of that if you're looking into becoming or creating YouTube content. And for Nextdoor, I know not a lot of people use Nextdoor, but it's your local area. If you don't know about Nextdoor, it's basically an app that connects you to your neighborhood within a certain like parameter of miles. And so you can select it to where it's just working with your local neighborhood, or you can expand the mile radius to where you're working with several neighborhoods in that area. And so here, if people are asking about houses, asking about they need a realtor, if they're asking about anything home related, you could definitely swoop in there and like, let's say you have a connection with a roofer, right? And you become very well known on Nextdoor because you're always giving out advice. And so you post on someone's post that says, "Hey, I'm looking for a roofer. Does anyone have any recommendations?" You could post the roofer's information. And being very well known in on Nextdoor is very beneficial, especially because it's in the area that you live in. Um, Connecting with community, so definitely get to know your neighbor type of thing, and they get to know you. Share your property listings. Maybe there's an open house down the street that you're gonna be hosting, and so you post it on your Nextdoor. Um, and then yeah, your property listing. So maybe there's a house for sale in the area and you want to show that. Maybe there's someone looking to move or leasing in that area or in that neighborhood and they're looking to buy in that area. So definitely take advantage of that. So we're going to jump into tips and best practices of social media. So I mentioned it before, but what's really important is value, quality, and consistency. So when you post valuable content, well, what is valuable content? It's content that entertains, it's content that provides educational information and provides useful resources. So again, we got to think of the mindset of a client. I'm going to want to I'm going to be most engaged or most interested in something that's engaging, which typically that has like audio, typically that has something funny in it, it has a story time, something that's entertaining to me. Or it's something educational. I want to know what's going on right now in the market in this specific area. And so that's going to be valuable to me. I want to watch that video because you're talking about something that is valuable to me. And of course, if you're providing blogging resources, articles that I'm interested in reading, well, that's valuable to me. So I'm gonna follow you because I want to see more content like that. I want that type of content because I'm interested in that. Posting quality content. What is quality content? It's a good sign, or a good sign is if you don't put in the effort to put thought into what you're posting. So basically, I've seen some agents where they will just post something off of the .me that I've created for y'all. They'll post it and they don't say anything to it. Like they don't put like a description, they don't put a caption. They just post it. Well, it took you probably a few seconds to do that. Did you look to see that what that design was even over what it was talking about? Is it relevant to now? You know, are you posting, just for an example, you didn't look at the post, it's a Christmas post, but it looks very wintry, but it says Merry Christmas, and you just posted it on a day that's not Christmas. So it's things like that where that's not good quality, that's not gonna engage me. I'm like, why would that person post that? If I'm a client, why would that person post that? It's not Christmas, and so that's weird. And I'm just gonna keep scrolling. It's gonna just be like, okay, that's really weird. And so that's like a good example of what bad quality content is. So if you don't believe, respect, or trust the content that you post, that is not good quality content. Um, and then if the content is too similar to others, that's bad quality content. So if you're literally, if you see an agent post something and you're like, that's a great idea, and I'm just gonna take that idea and I'm gonna post it on my stuff too. That's not good quality content because you put none of your own special like pizzazz to it. You didn't change it up, you didn't change the color, the picture, whatever it looks like, the layout of it. It's exactly like someone else's content. So that's poor quality content. We want to do the opposite of those things. And posting consistent content, is when you know that you're able to only post 2 times a week, but you're sticking to it. And then if you enjoy humor or want to be more serious or factual, then you stick to it. I know that we may feel like, oh, okay, so people want to see more humor. I'm not really like a funny person, but I'm gonna force it. I'm gonna try being more humorous in the content that I post. People can tell when you're forcing it and when you're not as natural doing it. And so definitely just staying true to who you are. There's an audience out there who's interested in the content you're gonna post. You know, they're gonna love your character, they're gonna love your personality, they're gonna love the way you speak, your tone, your views, and they're gonna follow you. They're gonna be interested in you. So definitely stay true to that, to who you are and to what you want to be posting and to what you want to be telling people. Just stick to it. And again, stay consistent with posting. If you can only do 2 times a week, don't push it. Just do 2 times a week and post it, because if I'm a client or if I'm a consumer in general and I see your content and I'm like, okay, yeah, this person posted like 20 times this week. I want to see them post 20 times every week. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm really interested in their content. And then the following week you could only post once. Well, now I just feel like I was gypped. I felt like you lied to me. You posted all this content and now you only posted once. Yeah, I'm gonna unfollow you because I want to follow someone who's gonna be posting. And at the same time, you have someone on the other end who's only gonna want someone who's maybe they find it annoying. Oh my gosh, I don't want to follow anyone who posts 20 times a day, every day for a whole week. You know, I want to know about it, but gosh, I don't want to see their video or their information on my feed all the time. And so they follow you because you only post 2 times a week, and then the next week you post 20 times a week. Then they're like, oh my gosh, this person was like fine, and now I'm just only seeing their stuff. That's so annoying. I'm gonna unfollow them. So it's really like you gotta be consistent, because once you're consistent, you're gonna get a specific type of person to look and follow your content. And so I've already talked about this a little bit. It's the domino effect. Um, Once you create content, use it. So like I said already, with the YouTube, for example, or with TikTok or any video, really, you can really capitalize on any type of video. So you create a video and you could share it to Facebook, you can share it to Instagram, you can share it to TikTok, you can share it to YouTube. Those are all very video-based platforms. And so show it. You did the work, you put the work behind that video, show it, post it, share it. someone may follow you on Facebook and they may not follow you on Instagram. So now they just missed on a video that you didn't post on both. Post on everything, the same video. And then if it's a really popular topic for the video, again, you could post it a few months out. Don't post it like so constantly, because then it's going to be, either deemed annoying or deemed like you're just posting the same thing. You're just being lazy. People want a diverse amount of information, of topics, but definitely capitalize on it. Some people may forget about that information in a few months, so definitely still post it. And then you may get new viewers, new followers from posting it again. And then you're one click away from your website or your Facebook or your blog, and so on and so on. And so when you are sharing your blog, you're a click away from your website. When you post your blog on your Facebook, you're a click away, again, a few clicks away from your website. They all funnel and connect. And so always make sure you're sharing a link of some type on any of your content, because it'll all funnel down somewhere, somehow, somewhere. And once they end up on your URL, your specific URL, your specific website, they're going to stay on your website, and we want that. Cool. Can generate leads or flip. Cool. I said that. And I just want to go over a few things with y'all when it comes to what people are looking for when it comes to looking and viewing your social media. So make sure on all your social media platforms, you try your very best to stay consistent with your name and your titles. So include realtor after your name. This is something that National Association of Realtor recommended, was including your realtor after your name. So that way it shows up in search engines when someone looks up realtor. But when it talks about your consistent name and titles, make sure that you're not using your nickname and then your last name on Facebook, and then on Instagram, you're using your middle name and your first name. And then I don't know, on YouTube, you're using something entirely different. You want to stay as consistent as you can, because when someone knows your name becomes your brand in this industry. Your name is your brand. And so when I'm looking for your brand on other platforms, I'm going to type in your brand name, which is your initial name. So maybe you go by your nickname. So I'm going to look up your nickname and your last name. And if you're not there on Instagram, that's weird, but I don't know your real name, so I'm not going to look it up. So be consistent with that. Make sure that you have good and current headshots. If your headshot looks like it was taken 20 years ago, you need to update it. And so if you want to come in, we do free headshots here, complimentary to y'all. You can upload your headshot on your social media, because if it looks old, immediately what I'm thinking is that you're no longer in the business. From someone who's not an agent, I'm going to think they don't really use this platform that often, or maybe they're retired, or maybe, maybe they're just not current, right? Maybe your license expired. I don't know. So when you keep everything consistent, keep everything up to date, it looks like you're still doing it. It looks like you're still, yeah. And I would recommend using the headshot with the token, because it helps you stand out. I know immediately for me, when I'm looking for like a realtor and I see a token, it makes you look more professional, versus if it's just your like headshot. Depending on the headshot, some headshots look a little too casual, and so it makes me believe that you're just another person, not a realtor, or not someone of like a certain profession, certain type of like, it doesn't look business, right? So definitely use something very professional. Use the bio section to include your expertise and information that helps you stick out and is client focused. When someone reads your bio, think of a client reading your bio. What do you want them to know about you? So definitely put that information in your bio section, and then making sure that you have the IABS link in your profiles for track compliance is important. And if you want to know more about that, just Teams me and I'll help you set that up. And I want you all to remember this. It's the internet. Nothing ever truly gets deleted. So if you post something, if you comment something, it's gonna stick with you. It's gonna stick with your name. It's gonna be out there. You try and delete it, it's still gonna be out there. People can take screenshots, people can share it. Don't post it if you're feeling very emotional about something, if a client says something rude to you and you're feeling very emotional about it in the comment section, don't say anything, write it out, have someone proofread it. And then only then, if they are like, yeah, this looks good, and you can always send it to me too. If that looks good, then respond. Um, and we're gonna talk about PR next Monday. So we'll deep dive into that a little bit more. But for now, just remember, it doesn't ever get deleted. Make sure you're responsive to comments and reviews. Don't say anything you don't stand behind or will regret. Again, if you're very emotional about something and you say it, you're like, I regret that. I regret saying that. Do not post it. Remember that your name is your brand and that your connections have a reflection on you. So everything is linked back to your name. If I look up your name on Google, I'm going to find your website. I'm going to find your blog. I'm going to find your Facebook. I'm going to find your Instagram. Your name is your brand. And people that are associated with your name, if I look up your name and I see your friends on Facebook, and they're posting ugly things, it might have a bad reflection on you. Or if maybe they even mention your name, they like say something horrible and they're like, yeah, so and so agrees with me and they tag you. That looks horrible on you. And I can see that as someone who's looking into your Facebook or Instagram. I can see that they tagged you on this horrible thing. And you try and delete it, and now Google's read it, and so it's on Google forever because Google picked that up. So just be careful, and know that everything is linked back to you and your name. And then, like I've mentioned, don't make ugly comments or message people with attitude or have any horrible remarks. There was an agent here a few months ago. I don't know what the deal was, but that person made a comment or DM'd a person and said, you need to be more respectful, and like kind of popped off to this person. Well, this person messaged Realty Texas because they see that that person works for Realty Texas, and it flooded back to us. And so being mindful that it's your name, but it's also our name. It's people are going to call you out. So be very careful when it comes to any digital online presence thing. And I did want to mention briefly tools available to you. I know we've already talked about it, but AI writing tools are available to help you write social media. There's other content calendars that are available to y'all besides Meta. Of course, you have to pay for them, but if you're interested in paying for them, there's Hootsuite, Loomly, Zoho, Canva, Social Pilot, and other ones. And Meta only lets you connect Facebook and Instagram, but if you're interested in posting on LinkedIn, Pinterest, and all these other places, then purchasing one of these content calendars, it'll allow you to post to all of them and get that connected there. And then design tools, Canva, I recommend Canva just because it's very user-friendly. Online presence and its importance. Online presence is great because it's easy to find you. It increases credibility, increases visibility, increases trust, and improves customer service. And when you don't exist online, then you simply do not exist. That is the way the world is nowadays. If I don't see you online, then well, how do I know that you're really selling homes? How do I know that you're really as good as you say that you are? I mean, I can't fact check you. And so people don't want to take a risk. They want to know what you're saying is what you're doing. So making sure that you're posting is important. Having an online presence is important. Um, and making sure that you're building a presence on the right platform. So just because I mentioned all like 8 of these different platforms does not mean that you need to post to all 8 different platforms. If Facebook and Instagram is working for you, if it's generating leads for you, then definitely invest the time in Facebook and Instagram. And if Twitter's not helping you at all get to where you want to be, don't post to Twitter. You don't have to. We definitely want to invest our time in things that are going to benefit you. And I did want to mention, according to the National Association of Real Estate Agents, The majority of home buyers are older millennials and Gen Xers. These audiences are more likely to use platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So that's just a little insight for you. Maybe those 4 platforms you want to start off with and see how it goes, and then maybe fall off of Twitter if Facebook and Instagram are better. It's up to you. Um, and yeah, cool. So that is it. I hope that everyone was able to benefit from this presentation. As I mentioned previously, next week I'll be talking about PR, and we'll be diving into how you should respond to reviews, especially the bad reviews, or clients really upset about something, or maybe it's something off the wall that you're like, why they could have just emailed me. And so I don't understand. And so you're confused. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more next week on how you should be responding and how to be interacting with people online.